So I need to restart now. All right, so I'm going to restart. So for everybody online, sorry, I kicked off, but we didn't launch you into the conversation. I will restart again. So thank you for everybody joining online. I've already thanked everybody in the room here. But thank you for supporting Replica, supporting Gray Market Labs. We're going to go through two things during this launch party, this release party. First is just a recognition of what has happened in this past year for the company and what is going to be coming in the future, what you're going to see in the release of Replica 3.0, why that's considered a major release for us, why that's important, and what that's really going to enable for our customers and our public benefit mission moving forward. So with that, I'll jump into the first slide. So this year has been a tremendous year for Gray Market Labs. So the first one I'll talk about is the Inc. 5000. We are on the list of the fastest growing companies in America. And that is recognition of the work of the team here in this room and around the country that works with Gray Market Labs. We don't do it alone. So thank you all for the work you've done for that, for our customers. And that's been really great. The second one is even more important to us. We established ourselves as a public benefit corporation at our start because we wanted to have our mission, our social mission to protect life online at the core of our business and what we do. And so at the end of last year, we got our certification as a certified B Corp. So passing through all those qualifications to certify it from a third party that we are meeting those social goals. But what was really exciting this year, you go to the next one, has been we were recognized as one of the top 5% of all B Corps in the world for the work that we do. So out of thousands of B Corps globally, we were one of the top 5% and actually one of the top 5 in the categories of governance in the globe. That's really, really exciting for us. We incorporated that way, getting that recognition that we're actually doing what we set out to do is tremendous. And the last one on the lower right here is what really excites me, is because this has been the most exciting opportunity and journey of my career. The past 4 years has been a roller coaster of activities, but the most fun roller coaster I've ever been on. And having us recognized as one of the best places to work in America, one of the top 400 places to work, is amazing across the country. So that's response from the team. We didn't submit for that. Our team had to respond and give surveys on how they felt about the company. Our customers had to give those responses. And that really makes us feel good and feel that we were really on the right path. Because if our team is happy, if we're growing and our customers are happy, we don't have to do anything else. We're going to have a successful company. So thank you all for that. So along that journey, we started out 4 years ago. Next slide. And the background that Ryan Underwood and I came from was to solve some really, really hard problems in the intelligence and defense community because we were getting compromised and we couldn't stand to see that anymore. And that's the problem we set out to solve first. And many of you have heard that before. But that is just to reinforce, that's where we came from. So the next slide, when we brought the first product out to market, that was what we called version 1.0. It wasn't even called Replica. It was called Opaque. It was there to protect the activity of our government customers and the work that they were doing. And version 1.0 in 2018 went out into production and did what we set out to do. So first, it was validated. We replaced a program that was already in flight. So the government stopped doing some work they were doing and moved it over into our platform. And then they approved that to be run on their networks. We went through the certification, the authority to operate, the ATO process. So approved that we were secure enough to operate on the government networks. That was huge. That drove the next couple years worth of development. So next slide. And this version 2.0, now we're in many versions beyond 2.0 of this is what most of our customers see. So Opaque didn't really capture what the true value was of the platform. So those of you that were here this time last year, we announced Replica to the world. And that was the name of the platform moving forward. Because Replica really captured the value of automation and access to data, tools, and workflows from wherever our customers were. And it was really the productization of the idea that we had. The idea was good, and we worked hard to get that initial rough product out to market. But this was the productization, making that really a commercial item that anybody could get access to. So next slide. So this is the slide that many of you have seen many times. And Mark Zuckerberg has been beat up enough in the press. We don't actually use him in slides anymore. But the techniques in tradecraft that social media represented was the same techniques in tradecraft that our nation state actors and adversaries were using. And that's what the problem was. That's where our patents are around how you overcome those. We had this time last year, had about 5 patents in the books. We've got 10 patents in the books now. And that portfolio continues to expand as our work and our protections expand. Next slide. And that's where we discovered to put those patents into practice, it wasn't just these protecting information from being exposed. It was the access to the resources from anywhere that were really important. And many customers do this. We're talking to our customers today. They say, oh, well, we're using these tools. We're using orchestration. We're using crawlers. We're using these different things. And we said, okay, this is great. Our platform's automating a lot of that in a comprehensive way. Let's provide that to our customers. Give them a way to have a comprehensive solution with the best of industry in one place. So next slide. And that is what Replica became. So our embedded protections, right? The patents, the knowledge, the tradecraft from cyber counterintelligence embedded in the platform. So you don't have to know how to do managed attribution. You don't have to know how to reduce your signature. We do that for you. And then the isolation architecture, core of what we built, protects each user from each other and protects the organization from the users, but gives them the flexibility to go do what they want. So each of these environments that we create is isolated from one another. So even if customers pull down a massive amount of malware, they don't affect anybody else within the platform. And some customers, in fact, are using that on purpose and have created malware labs within Replica and are getting scale through Replica to expand their malware labs for different customers, for different types of research that they're trying to accomplish. So that combined with the more productive on the right-hand side, getting access to the tools they need to do forensics, getting access to the workflows of how they move data around, going from existing repositories securely into Replica, doing the work and getting the reports out to the people that need it, when they need it, are really, really important. And what has really shown the benefit of this platform is because many people do this work. Each of you online or in this room have worked on one of these projects already or portions of these projects. But instead of writing 1,500 lines, 2,000 lines of code to create one environment, secure it, maintain it, now within Replica, it's 3 to 4 lines. And that's if you don't go through our GUI. So really, we've simplified the complex. That's what Replica has really done, is simplify everything that's complex in a comprehensive way. Next slide. And what has been built out, and now as you'll see has started to get expanded on in 3.0, is this library of configurations. And Frank, you can just go through all of them. Is we started out in a very specific government mission, but that has rapidly expanded into the commercial world to support threat intelligence, to support internal investigations or external investigations, to support data science and the standing up of high performance computing clusters when people need it. So the scientists don't have to know IT. The CIO and the CTO don't have to hire 5 more people to stand up these environments. Replica does it for them and maintains it. So instead of taking 3 weeks or 4 weeks to get something out into the hands of your employees, it takes hours, minutes to stand these things up. Maybe we have to do configs. It might take a day, but it's really, really fast and really rapid for all types of missions and configurations. Next slide. So what is different about 3.0? Why is this a major release and not a 2.14 or 15 or 16? Well, it's 2 aspects of what we've brought out and brought to the world with 3.0. On the first side, it's data and networking. On the other side is enterprise automation. I'll go into a couple of details on each of those. So first is how we handle data within the platform has become a core piece of the value and benefits our customers get out of it. And as many of you that are in the platform today have seen, we rolled out in beta and have turned into production Butler is our term and our service around managing data within the platform. Some customers use that for language translation, like collecting information in Cyrillic or Chinese characters and translating those into English or vice versa. Using Butler to do that is a straightforward, easy use case. But Butler does so much more than that. It's to file handling, multiple file handling. How do you get data from one part of your system securely into an external partner while still maintaining control over that file or that piece of data? Butler manages that all for our customers, all embedded within the platform. Giving that access to legacy data sources through the platform, again, all falls underneath the umbrella of what's come out in 3.0, giving our customers a platform to do everything that they need to do within the construct and context of a fully secured, privatized platform. Privacy by demand, by design, already embedded. You don't have to know how to do it. It's already there. And then finally on this slide has been the networking components. We have modularized, expanded the architecture of the platform to really incorporate lots of different types of access to different resources across the globe. So if you've been in Replica previously, many of you use it for browsing, use it for remote desktops. But now what we've been able to do is get access to physical mobile devices, physical servers, physical assets anywhere on the globe that you don't have to have in the room with you to do work against them. You can get those accesses through Replica and without having to do any other work and without having to move those assets. So lots of different things that came out on the data and networking side. But a really important piece of this has been the applicability to the enterprise. So most of our customers start out with a very specific team and solving a specific problem: cyber threat intel, investigations, a data science team, whatever it might be. But now it's grown into really Replica provides enterprise automation, environment automation that takes away that complexity of cloud automation. You don't have to know Terraform or those scripts. You don't have to know orchestration and Kubernetes. All that is done within the platform. And so now we took that a step further within Replica. So taking all the components of the system and really taking those access controls and making them granular. Each piece of the system can have a different access control on it. You can choose who has access to what resource, when they have access to it, what data they have access to. All of it is completely controlled by you as the customer, and then true visibility and observability on what's going on. So it's great to tell somebody they have access, but what do they do with that access and that resource? Providing that architecture out, improve the microservices environment. So taking our API a step further, so each aspect of the system is now available as an API rather than just pieces and parts of the system. And then finally, the enhanced security that we put behind what we've done has now taken us a step further, as you'll see on one of the use case slides of where we'll be going by the end of 2023. So where are we going? And I'll do that, and I'll set this context in the context of our customers and what we're doing for our customers. So for NCFTA, been going on 2 years. They've been a customer of ours and a tremendous partner. NCFTA is a nexus of global financial services, insurance, gaming, law enforcement customers, all brought together, 93 plus partners in this organization to go try to address the cyber and forensics problems of the world. It's a huge data sharing organization and partnership organization. They use Replica for their OSINT work. Their researchers go through Replica to go out and do their work and do their jobs. But also, they've taken us to augment their malware environments and their malware lab, a physical lab that sits at their facility in Pittsburgh, has now been extended into Replica to give them more options and more environments that they can get malware into, do forensics, do monitoring of malware in a scalable way. And then finally, COVID has been really interesting for everybody in the past couple of years. NCFTA does a tremendous amount of training. they had to stop that training because it was all in person. They were able to restart that training, all done through the virtual environments of Replica on high-end, very specific dark web crypto training with all the tools, data, and resources they need deployed to the virtual environments for training in Japan, training in Texas, training in Europe, wherever their customers sat. They were able to do that training through Replica. And so that is where, again, where customers, very similar to where our customers have been. Next slide. But where are they going? And I'll start with our government customers because they've been going in a very specific direction that now affects all of our customers. We have the same use case, Replica for OSINT, that the Air Force has used us for many years. That has now expanded into a lot of our historical customer sets and managed attribution, doing very high-end security work. But where that has taken us in a different step is the enterprise automation piece of it, is that there are so many tools out there, tools that do workflow, tools that do data analysis, OSINT data providers. And all these are many of them are very good and very strong tools. And what they need, though, from the federal government, what the federal government needs is a fast way to get access to these tools, to get them quickly deployed in a secure way that won't break any of the certifications that they may already have. And that's where Replica has come in. So we just received an award this year from Defense Innovation Unit on behalf of the Army to build out, well, not build, but to deploy Replica as a secure hosting platform. And by the end of 2023, DIU is sponsoring us, and the Army is sponsoring us to be a FedRAMP High platform to be used across the federal government. So that is a tremendous step of where the enterprise platform is really going. And that just doesn't benefit the government, that benefits any of our commercial customers. Because that level of oversight and introspection on what the platform does is tremendous. And we welcome it. And having that certification at the end of the year will give the government a resource that they have not been able to have to date. So now we go into our commercial space and our commercial customers. And a lot of this, sorry, online gets overlaid without the transition. But Replica has been used for OSINT. Replica has been used for malware. It's been used for training, and I've already talked about investigations. Well, what about secure enclaves? A way to share information, maybe with your hardest competitor, but while you still maintain control of that information, they don't get that file, but they can view it and work on it within Replica, and you can pull back that file whenever you need it because you control the entirety of the environment within Replica. What about DevOps? I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again. We build Replica with Replica. It is our DevOps environment, and that's what our customers are starting to use it for. In a secure, trusted way, it is secure DevOps. We have access to GitLab and all of our tools within Replica, so we use it every day and know where we need to improve to make it even better for development teams. And the bottom line on here, again, you can't hard to see online, is Replica for secure environments. And that's really the core of what this is. And where we'll be going with Replica this next year is the ability for our customers to get to buy a secure environment or a set of secure environments. That's really what you need. You don't need to know if it rides in AWS or Azure or wherever it is. You just need to know it gives you the resource you need as an environment at scale when you need it for your organization. And that's the next slide. That's really what this has come to, is Replica is now ready for the enterprise. That is what 3.0 really is. And what that enables is this is enterprise grade technology ready to go as a SaaS product that can be deployed and support any of our customers at scale. And that's really what 3.0 and what the team around me has really put together. Tremendous engineering team that has done a ton of work to get us to this point and modernize and secure the platform. So with that, thank you. I'll take any questions from Avery that we've been pulling from online, or anybody questions anybody might have in the room. All right, Jamie.
What was your biggest surprise this year as far as what a customer, like a question or a need that a customer brought forward?
So for people online, the question Jamie brought up is, what was the biggest surprise or question that came up from a customer this past year? And it was really when we went over from kind of our government law enforcement customers and working with NCFTA, and the question became dealing with malware, right? So we made an assumption coming out of the government space how people deal with malware. And we deployed a product for NCFTA, the malware sandbox, cut them off from the internet, gave them a sandbox to go work within. And they looked at it and said, where's our network access? And we said, what do you mean? You need to do sandboxing. You need to do reverse engineering, forensics. They said, no, we want to monitor what the malware is doing. Like, oh, well, that's different than how we had historically done it for our government customers. And so then, great, hey team, they're doing it differently. We had to put them into a different provider that allowed us to have that network connection, but then we did it. And now we have a new resource available for all of our customers that is out there. But those are the things that come up of, we can't assume how our customers are going to use it, that they're going to use it the same way, but the platform allowed us the flexibility pretty quickly to get that out into the hands of NCFTA. And now we've got two different, we have a malware forensics capability and sandboxing, and now a malware monitoring capability. And that has then grown for some other customers that we're working with. So great question, thank you. Anyone else? All right. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate everybody being online and being here with us. Appreciate you all being on part of this journey with us. It is a journey. Again, one of the most tremendous ones I've ever been on in my life. So thank you for all for being online. Thank you again for my team in the room, for all of you here. And look forward to this time next year, seeing what we've accomplished in 2023. So thank you all. Oh, sorry. One question, sorry. Last one. What commercial sectors do we see as most promising for Replica next year? We've got a tremendous focus, even this next couple of weeks towards the end of this year, on the financial services sector. Global consulting is our two primary areas. We have a number of customers already, and we'll be able to announce some of those in 2023. But that's where I'll be spending even a lot of my travel time through the end of this calendar year in those two sectors. But what has expanded and what we participated in the past couple of weeks is it's less about the specific kind of traditional market sector as it is the activity that each of these organizations are trying to accomplish. And so for financial services or for global consulting, there's a direct correlation into our supply chain vendor customers and the work that we've been doing with those customers. So supply chain, Apple is part of supply chain. DP World, who does shipping containers, is a part of supply chain. Accenture is a part of supply chain. All these different organizations are part of the supply chain for different aspects. So it's more the activity that's really going to be important this next year, and what activities do we protect rather than the specific market segment. But great question. Thank you very much for whoever asked that. Any more for online? Last chance? Yeah.
Reseller opportunity. So when you talk about supply chain and you have a client, customers that need a Replica-like product for their business, are you able to integrate a larger supplier to then their clients through, like, integrate Replica?
Sure. So I'll try to restate what Brendan asked. So do we see a larger B2B play with a reseller community where they could incorporate that as an offering out to their customers? The short answer is yes. We already have a strong partnership with an organization out there called Optiv, who we've been working with to take some very specific, some of our government customers, combined capability into market. There's a number of customers we already have on board that this will be a service they provide out to their customers rather than a reselling opportunity, more of an enabling technology, but still a B2B discussion. And that's solidly where we fit. I think makes sense with what we presented as far as enterprise grade of what 3.0 really is that it fits perfectly in that scheme. I've told many people this: if people are using Replica and they never even know it's Replica. They're just using somebody else's service or product. Perfectly fine with that, because it's all about accomplishing our mission, accomplishing our business goal of what we're there to protect life online. And again, it's the scale of what we can, how many people are using it. That's what matters, rather than is our name right out there in front of the end user. So great question. Thank you. All right. Thank you again for everybody online. I think that's it. Thank you for all in person. See you this time next year.